Welcome again. This is Mwalimu Jeff Bama. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this new video. We are going to discuss grammar, the part of the grammar that we call the conjunctions. But the type of conjunctions we shall talk about in this video are called the correlative conjunctions, or we can call them correlatives. Correlatives are conjunctions which are used in pairs. They cannot be used as single conjunctions, but they are used in pairs. They are closely related and are used together in one sentence. Correlatives show the relationship between the subject and the rest of the sentence. We need to now understand them when we look at the examples. How do they appear in sentences, or how are they used in sentences? So as we look at the examples, to begin with, we can look at the first one that we call as, followed by as. As is normally followed by as when it is used as a correlative conjunction. For example, we say that this correlative conjunction, as followed by as, is used when comparing or likening two people or two things. When you compare, liken, or liken two people or things, you use as followed by as. An example in a sentence, we can say that he was not as early as expected. Another example, we can say they are as successful as their parents. Now, the second example of correlative conjunctions, there is what you call to followed by to. This correlative conjunction is used in negative sentences to show an action that cannot take place. The use of this conjunction or this correlative conjunction shows an action that cannot take place. For example, in sentences, we can say that the deal was too good to be true. Or another example, we can say that she is too tired to work anymore. So we need to have an understanding of what takes place when it comes to the use of correlatives. The third example is so followed by that. So followed by that. This correlative shows the degree to which an action has taken place. It shows the degree to which an action has taken place. For example, we can say that the work was so difficult that many people had to do it. The work was so difficult that many people had to do it. We can move to another one. Another example of a correlative conjunction is the one we call such followed by that. Such followed by that. This correlative is used to show the degree to which an action takes place. It shows the degree to which an action takes place, or the degree at which an action takes place. For example, we can say, I have such regard for Maureen that I always respect her. I have such regard for Maureen that I always respect her. Yeah, so we can also give another example in this. We can say that such was Brian's creativity. Such was Brian's creativity that he got a scholarship. When we look at another example is that we have a correlative conjunction that we call not only followed by but also. Not only followed by but also. How does it work? We need to understand that this correlative conjunction shows that something else other than what is mentioned before is also true. Something else other than what is mentioned before is also true. So here is the example in a sentence. We can say the winner not only got a watch but also a pen. The winner not only got a match. The winner not only got a watch but also a pen. We can also give another example by saying that Zainabu was not only fast but also efficient. Zainabu was not only fast but also efficient. Another example of a correlative conjunction is this one. We have the one that goes this way. We have both followed by and. Both followed by and. How does it work? This correlative conjunction indicates addition of information. It indicates addition of information. How does it indicate addition of information? Here is how. We need to understand that in examples, we can have an example like both the adults and the children enjoyed the play. Both the adults and the children enjoyed the play. Another example we can give is, we can say she cleaned both the carpets and the curtains. She cleaned both the carpets and the curtains. Those two examples can make you understand how this correlative conjunction can be used in sentences. Another example of a correlative conjunction, we have what we call either followed by or. Either followed by or. The correlative conjunction indicates one of the two people or things mentioned in the sentence. The correlative conjunction indicates one of the two people or things mentioned in a sentence or in the sentence. For example, we can say either Atieno or Njeri took the book. Either Atieno or Njeri took the book. Either Atieno or Njeri took the book. Or in another example, we can say, I will either eat some peas or some beans. I will either eat some peas or some beans. We can move to another example. We can move to another example of a correlative conjunction. Another example of a correlative conjunction. This is neither followed by nor. The previous one was either followed by or. This is neither, not either. Neither. We need to have an understanding that this correlative means none of the things or people mentioned has done something. None of the things or people mentioned has done something. For example, Mwari is neither hungry nor sleepy. Or we can say, he is neither a swimmer nor a runner. That is what we must understand. Another example of correlative conjunction that we have is no sooner had followed by than. No sooner had followed by than. This correlative conjunction, no sooner had followed by than, means that an action takes place immediately after another action has taken place. That an action takes place immediately after another action has taken place. Example, in a sentence we can say, no sooner had she entered the house than the bell rang. No sooner had she entered the house than the bell rang. There's another example of correlative conjunction, that is whether followed by or. Whether followed by or. For example, in a sentence we can say, she doesn't know whether to stay or leave. She doesn't know whether to stay or leave. There's another one we call prefer followed by to. This is another correlative conjunction. Prefer followed by to. This is a correlative conjunction that is used to show that a person or a thing is liked better than another. It shows that a person or a thing is liked better than another. For example, we can say Njuguna prefers coffee to tea. Njuguna prefers coffee to tea. Another example of a correlative conjunction is prefer followed by or. Prefer followed by or. This correlative conjunction is used to show that one person or thing is liked better than another. One person or thing is liked better than another. It is just closely related with the previous. Here we can give an example in a sentence and say that, do you prefer milk or soup for breakfast? Or another example, you can say, do you prefer cycling or walking? Another correlative conjunction is rather followed by than. Rather followed by than. This correlative conjunction, we need to have an understanding that it is used when a speaker prefers to do one thing and not the other. When a speaker prefers to do one thing and not the other, and not the other. One thing and not the other. An example, we can say, I would rather wait than walk in the rain. I would rather wait than walk in the rain. Here, waiting is preferred to be done than walking. Another correlation or another conjunction, or we call correlative conjunction, is the one we call not only followed by but also. Not only followed by but also. Not only followed by but also. This correlative shows that something else other than what is mentioned is also true. Something else other than what is mentioned is also true. Example, in a sentence we can say that not only is our governor educated, but also diligent. Not only is our governor educated, but also diligent. Another one is what we call not until followed by that. Not until followed by that. This correlative shows that one thing occurs only after another has taken place. One thing occurs only after another has taken place. An example, we can say, it was not until 5 o'clock that the lessons ended. It was not until 5 o'clock that the lessons ended. There is another one, another correlative that we call hardly, had, followed by when. This correlative indicates that one action starts only a short moment after another starts. One action starts only a short moment after another starts. Example, in a sentence we can say that hardly had anyone seen them when they fled. Hardly had anyone seen them when they fled. So there is also another example of a correlative conjunction, and this is scarcely had, followed by when. Scarcely had, followed by when. This shows that one action starts a short moment before another action starts. One action starts a short moment before another action starts. An example is, scarcely had the game started when we arrived. Scarcely had the game started when we arrived. Another correlative conjunction is barely had, followed by when. Barely had, followed by when. This correlative conjunction shows that an action starts a short moment before another starts. An action starts a short moment before another starts. So we need to understand in an example that we can say, barely had she read 2 pages of the magazine when the lights went off. Barely had she read 2 pages of the magazine when the lights went off. Another example of a correlative conjunction is such followed by as. Such followed by as. Example in a sentence, we can say, the guard gave the man in a wheelchair such help as she could. The guard gave the man in a wheelchair such help as she could. Rather followed by or. Rather followed by or. Rather followed by or. Rather followed by or is used in a statement. It is used when a speaker prefers to do one thing and not the other. When a speaker or the person speaking prefers to do one thing and not the other. For example, you can say, could you rather sit or stand? Could you rather sit or stand? So these are just but examples of correlative conjunctions and how they can be used in sentences. We have talked about these ones, and if you followed, kindly make sure that you master them. May you remember to subscribe and like as well as share this video so that it can go to the wider population. Thank you. May God bless you.